Hello, tubies. How y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. Just attempting to light a candle here. What you're looking at is my spirit altar, and the spirits love whenever I show off their altar. They just get such a kick out of it. So I thought today we would do a small little incense here for them. Just gonna move this out of the way. Where am I gonna put this? So this particular type of incense that I want to show you guys is important for my spirits. Everybody is going to offer their spirits something different. Everybody is going to have different incense that they burn. Everybody is going to have their own unique way of honoring the spirits. And there is, in my opinion at least, no wrong or right way to honor the spirits. As you can see, I've got some crystals on here. I have a good old skull on here that I picked up at Michael's. I've got lots of crystals. I've got cauldrons on here, and I have a white candle, which is used in my practice to guide the spirits, to help them, to give them the light so that they can find their way and so that they feel welcome and invited and comfortable, okay? Usually this altar is really cluttered with lots of plant material, lots of dried herbs everywhere, lots of candles everywhere. I have recently just cleaned it. It was quite cluttered, and the spirits at the time were not too happy with me for doing that, but I had to do it because it was getting a little too much. So, what I'm gonna do is just light up a coal so we can get that going. So we're just gonna get that coal going. So for this particular incense recipe, these are herbs that my spirits like, and patchouli is a big part of that. I'm also going to be burning this stick incense, which is called odd or ode or something similar to that. They love the smell of this, and as do I. I don't burn it for them all the time because it's expensive to buy. But I do burn it up on a incense burner that I have on a shelf above. And for this just helps to create an inviting area, a space that the spirits feel safe and welcomed into, because the whole goal here is to welcome and honor the spirits. And that, of course, can be the spirits of the dead, that can be the spirits of the land, that can be the spirits of emotion, like whatever it is that the spirits are to you is what it can represent. For me, it's usually the spirits of the dead. And I get asked a lot if I work with a particular spirit, and I don't. I work with the spirits of the dead. It's a general term. It's all of the people who have passed, who want to pass through my space, who have advice, who are ancestors maybe, who are strangers even, who are people who are looking for a space to go to, or who want to communicate, that type of thing. So one of the first things that I like to put into this particular recipe is a little bit of wormwood. Wormwood is really great in communicating with the dead. In fact, all of these ingredients, except for one, is excellent for communicating with the dead. As we all know, patchouli is used as a substitute for graveyard dust if you can't get your hands on any graveyard dust. And my spirits absolutely, positively love patchouli. If I don't burn some form of patchouli, shit gets crazy. The other thing I'm going to throw in is dandelion leaf. Dandelion leaf is also associated with the dead and the conjuring of and the worshipping and the honoring of the dead. And along with that, I'm going to throw in some dandelion root. About a pinch or two does enough for my particular use cases, but I'm just going to throw in a little bit more. And finally, because I personally love the smell of this, and my spirits also like me when I burn this particular type of root, I'm going to be burning some Osha root. Osha root is one of those things in my house that I tend to go through rather quickly. This piece might not want to break up the way I want it to. There we go. I'm just going to take this larger piece and just put it on the coal. All of the things that I have placed into this particular incense are all earth-based. They are all of the earth. They are all of Mother Nature. They are all of the spirits of the land. They are all a part of the earth and a part of the grounding experience and a part of... They're just a part of everything, if that makes any sense at all. It's very difficult to explain this incense. It's very difficult to understand my particular uses for it because, again, everybody's craft is really different in the way people honor their spirits, their ancestors, their saints, depending on their culture, their race, their religion, whatever. It's all going to be different. And in my particular case, the honoring of the spirits is a very sacred thing to do. This is one of the only altars that I am allowed to show on camera, along with my main one, of course. My saint's altar, I'm not even allowed to go near that with a camera or they will flip shit. This particular incense, because it has roots in it, it's got leaves in it, and all of the herbs come together to create that grounding, vibrational experience. So when you're here and you're giving thanks to the spirits, you feel very grounded, you feel very protected, you feel their presence around you. And for a lot of witches on the internet, I don't see them talking about that experience of what it's like to feel the presence of the spirits around, what it's like to feel their energy around. And a lot of times it's a very personal experience, and that makes sense. But they'll often talk about how you should feel their presence, and I've talked about this numerous times in my videos, about how you should feel their presence around you, how you should feel them wanting to connect with you, how you should feel them just there, if that makes any sense. And it's very difficult, I think, for a witch to explain how you feel that. Like, it's also the kind of same way of how you like would absorb or deflect a curse. There's magical concepts and principles around it, but when it comes to feeling that energy, it's extremely difficult to explain because the way that I explain it isn't going to be the way that you feel it, if that makes any sense. And I'm just wafting this incense smoke around this altar and making the spirits feel at home and making them feel invited, because they are invited. This is their space. This is their quote-unquote portal. This is their way into my space. All the spirits, of course, are welcome in my space. And some people would criticize me and give me shame for doing something like this because I'm essentially opening a door for any kind of spirit to come through. And what they don't understand is that as long as you have your protections in place and as long as you have your wards up and you're secure in your practice, you're secure in your mundane world, you're confident as a witch, and you're confident in both your practice and your personal life, there should be no issue in welcoming the spirits into your place, because anything that does come through isn't going to stick around for long. Anything that's malicious, that is. So we're just taking a minute to waft this smoke around and really just enjoy the space and let the spirits come through and let them communicate and let them talk about what they want to talk about, and just really allow them to fill the room with their presence. It's very important that when you're working with spirits that they feel welcome, that they're not trapped in some circle or trapped in some space where they can't go anywhere else, because they're here to help you. They're here to be a part of your experience as a witch. They're here to build relationships with you. And I know a lot of witches on the internet are very afraid of working with spirits, of being around spirits, because they don't want that big bad evil to come through. But it really does take experience and time and patience, and this isn't something that you could rush through and really get to doing right away as a new witch, if that makes any sense. So we're just taking our time and feeling the presence of the spirits. And I like to spend a lot of time here, usually in the evenings after the sun's gone down, or in the early mornings before the sun comes up, and just pay thanks to the spirits. You're thanking them for helping you, for protecting you, for guiding you. I do the exact same thing for the saints. You thank them for what they've given you, and you give back to them. Relationships, as I've talked about, respecting entities, when building relationships, it's all about give and take, right? So like the same principles and concepts of building a relationship with a man or a woman or a new friend or whatever the case may be is the same concepts as building a relationship with the spirits or an entity or whatever the case may be. Well, I hope that this video has given you some insight into how I honor my spirits and how I like to give thanks, and some just ramblings that I wanted to do on the subjects of working with spirits. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I know that I haven't gotten to my latest set of comments. I will be getting to them as soon as I can. I've just been so busy with work. It's like I can get a video out and then I just sit down and I start doing some work, and all of a sudden it's hours and hours later and I'm exhausted and I don't want to do anything except watch Grey's Anatomy. So don't worry, I will be getting to all of your comments. I've seen great, amazing comments, and I will be answering and responding to all of them just as soon as I am able to. Love, love, my little tubies.